Jim Chesko, and I'm talking with my favorite World War II veteran, my father, Francis Chesko, about his war experience. Let's get right to it. You grew up just outside Mahanoy City, Pennsylvania, and you graduated from Mahanoy Township High School, and not long after that, you found out that Uncle Sam had plans for you. What do you remember about getting drafted and your reaction at the time?
Well, I was only a boy of 19, and very scared, very anxious, and didn't know what I was getting into. There was 49 boys from town and township with me, and there are only 4 living right now.
So you officially joined the service then in February of 1943. That was just a few weeks after you turned 19. Where did you train and what did you learn?
They sent me down to Camp Shelby, Mississippi. We were building bridges, planting mines, digging up mines, firing all kind of guns, rifles and machine guns and bazookas and so forth.
And you had 4 brothers and 4 sisters, and I think you had 3 brothers who were also in the service?
4 of us were in the service and 3 of us were wounded.
Where did the Army actually send you then for the war effort?
First they sent me to England, Swindon, England, where we had more training, almost the same thing as in Camp Shelby, Mississippi.
What battalion and what division were you in for the war?
With the 148 Combat Engineer Battalion.
So after you trained in England, you ended up going to Normandy?
Yes, on June the 7th, I went into Normandy, and then we had big battles at Carrington and St. Lo and other places there. And at La Haye-de-Puy, I was wounded. And I don't even know how I got wounded, but I wound up in a field hospital. They were pulling the skin off my hands and legs and face.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I went to England, back to England for 2 months and a half, and was, after I recuperated, was sent back to the war with the 7th Armored Division.
Did anything happen between then and the Battle of the Bulge? Did you do more work?
A little bit in Holland and Belgium. We had some nice battles there too.
All right, then comes December and January 1944 and 45. You fought in what would come to be known as the Battle of the Bulge. From what I remember from history class, it began as a result of a surprise attack by the Germans in the thick Ardennes forests of Belgium, France, and Luxembourg.
Yes, that was December the 16th. We were up in Aachen, Germany, and they told us to load up. We're going back 50 miles. And we thought we were going for R&R. Were we surprised? The Germans had pushed our lines back 50 miles. So we fought there for 40 days. We fought in the Battle of the Bulge. We lost quite a few good men too.
So you spent Christmas and your 21st birthday fighting this battle. Just how cold was it and how scary was it?
It was in the teens, and snow drifts 3-4 feet. No exaggeration. And Christmas Eve, 44, we had nothing to eat, only snow.
Wow. Hey, what weapons did you use? And I'm talking about you personally. What weapons were you involved with?
We had the M1 rifle and a bazooka.
Now, as you mentioned, there were lots of losses on both sides. The Battle of the Bulge, the biggest and bloodiest battle fought by the U.S. in World War II. Did you personally have any close calls?
Oh, I had a few, yes. I was in my foxhole, and I happened to move my head, and right where my head was, the bullet went by, right by my ear. And another time, we were up, they were machine gunning us, and I got knocked down, and here a piece of a fence post got blown off the post and hit me in the cartridge belt and knocked me over, but I wasn't wounded. So I had a few close calls, yes.
Now, from what I understand, one key victory during the battle was in St. Vith with defenders led by the 7th Armored Division. What happened there?
That was one of the most important battles of the Battle of the Bulge, even more so than Bastogne. Bastogne was probably best noted for that remark that General made, nuts. But we actually had to hold, they told us to hold for 3 days at St. Vith, and we held for 5 till reinforcements came up. But the Germans pushed us out of St. Vith, and then we went back in and recaptured it. And our company put a big sign up on my 21st birthday.
Nice. So the Battle of the Bulge was an important victory and a precursor to the end of the war a few months later in May of 1945. How were the American troops received and remembered by civilians in those battlegrounds of Europe?
Oh, by the Belgians and Luxembourgers and French, and we were received very, very nicely. They really enjoyed us there, and they thanked us for liberating them, of course.
Hey, speaking of the end of the war, how did you get the news that it was officially over and that you'd soon be heading home?
Well, we were in Landsberg, Germany, and it just got sent around to the troops that the Americans dropped an A-bomb on Japan, and boy, we were happy. Very, very happy.
I know you were able to bring back a few souvenirs from World War II. Can you show a couple off? How about those daggers? Where'd you get those?
Well, this one was taken from an SS officer, and this was taken from just a regular German soldier.
And you have a pistol? Let me see the pistol. Show that off. Don't shoot me, though.
I won't shoot you. It's loaded, though.
Thanks.
And that was taken off a German prisoner, and but it's not a German gun. It's a Belgian pistol.
All right. And you've, of course, gotten a slew of awards and honors over the years, many of them just recently. I really like that little shadow box display behind you with many of the awards that the Mahanoy City Historical Society presented you with in late 2014. What are all those medals and ribbons and everything?
Well, the medals are Good Conduct, Purple Heart, European, African, Belgian for gear, and so on and so forth. The shadow box was made by Tommy Ward. He spent hours and hours and money sending away for all the different ones. And then when it came time for him to honor me at the library, he took a stroke and he missed presenting it to me.
Yeah, that was still a great night, though. I mean, I know how important that was to you, and it was a great turnout. The library was packed for it, and really, really nice. They did a great job with that. In conclusion, I'm just wondering, how did your war experience shape you as a man?
As a man? Well, it made a man out of me, of course. And I was taught obedience and honor and so forth. But it did make a man out of me, of course, and taught us how to obey, especially obey the officers.
Yeah. And over the last 50 or so years, you've seen dozens of movies about World War II. Any personal favorites?
Well, Patton was one, D-Day was another one, and the Battle of the Bulge, of course.
I remember when I was about 9 years old, you took me to the drive-in to see Battle of the Bulge. Just what every 9-year-old kid should see, right?
Exactly.
Anything else you want to say, Dad?
Well, just to say what a wonderful family I have, and God honored me and blessed me. And I was married 65 years. She's up in heaven now.
Great woman, Rose. Thank you, Dad. With my father, Sergeant Francis Chesko, I'm Jim Chesko. Thank you for watching and listening.
Hallelujah.